Hi, I'm Maxwell Smart, Business Advisor at the South Midlands Growth Hub. Here to talk to you today about the Capital Growth Grant and the expression of interest. So today's webinar will cover the Capital Growth Grant overview, the eligibility criteria, the grant application process, and the expression of interest application form. Capital Growth Grant overview is there to unlock your innovation potential. Capital funding is available to accelerate business growth, foster innovation within your business, support decarbonisation efforts, and these projects must contribute to local priorities, including the local authority area where the application is based. Individual grant amounts are from £5,000 to £25,000, which is match funded. With regards to the local priorities, you can see on this slide the local priority themes. If we take West Northamptonshire, for example, the themes are to grow investment sectors to encourage higher value employment, to invest in innovation and productivity support, to reduce carbon emissions amongst businesses, and to increase the number of ambitious growth businesses. Any project that you're undertaking should tie into the local authority that you fall under. The priority themes and the aims of the funding of the grant are three different factors. The first one is to enhance innovation, that being introducing a new product to the business or market, introducing a new service to the business or market, or introducing a new process to the business. Products can be tangible or intangible, meaning that things like website development are included within this grant. The next priority theme is sustainability and decarbonisation, where the funding helps you adopt greener practices and more sustainable practices, contributing to reduced costs, cutting greenhouse emissions and progressing towards net zero. The final priority theme is growth and jobs. The scheme is there to help grow your business with regards to revenue and also with regards to job creation and job safeguarding. So a new job means a permanent paid or full-time equivalent role created following the support. This includes part-time jobs. The role must be new and expected to last at least 12 months. And safeguarded jobs refers to existing jobs which are safeguarded as a result of the grant. So the eligibility criteria for this grant, you must be an SME, which is less than 250 employees, and your turnover is less than 50 million, or an annual balance sheet less than 43 million. It must be a registered enterprise and registered in the South Midlands area. So that's Milton Keynes, Bedfordshire and Northamptonshire, including Luton as well. It must be a trading enterprise or engaged in business activity. The business must not be undertaking in difficulty. Charities and not-for-profit organisations are eligible under the grant if they meet the scheme obligations, and any businesses in liquidation, dissolved, struck off, or subject to striking off notice are not eligible under the grant. The eligibility of expenditure. So for capital equipment, again, you can apply for between 5,000 and 25,000 match funded, which is ex VAT. So just for an example, if the project was £50,000, you're eligible to, if successful under the grant, claim back £25,000 towards the cost of that project. The costs directly related to delivering innovative projects, and examples of those include plant equipment and machinery acquisitions for the diversification into new products or fundamental changes to business processes. Improvements to commercial buildings with evidence such as a 3-year lease, title registration, rates bill and planning permission if applicable. Equipment support new product service development and also patents to protect new products as well. With regards to information technology, domain names, domain names are included, as is software development. So the purchase of software licenses, perpetual, as a one-off lump sum payment for a license to use software indefinitely. Software development, such as coding and testing, installation and configuration. Hardware directly related to the software project. Costs of new functionality that improve capability of existing hardware, and also embedded software or firmware, software that's essential to the functionality of the hardware. With regards to website development costs, they can be capitalized if the following conditions are met. The costs are directly related to the creation, acquisition of a website or web application that will be used in the business's operations. The website or web application is expected to provide economic benefits to the business over a period of time and not for promotion or advertising purchases. The cost can be reliably measured, and videography and photography for a website can be capitalized if it's created as part of initial build or major long-term overhaul. This adding value to the business and can be treated as a fixed asset. Other costs will be seen as a business operating costs, so they cannot be included. So things that are ineligible, examples of costs that can't be funded include general business setup costs, core running or staff costs like wages, working capital costs, stock, wages, utilities, or debt repayment. Non-project or non-business expenditure, any costs that are incurred before the offer date or after the scheme end date, and we'll go through those dates in the next few slides. Like-for-like replacements that are not driven by innovation or carbon reduction, routine replacement of consumables such as laptops or software licenses, monthly or annual software such as service licenses, software maintenance, training and bug fixing once the software is live, any minor software updates that do not add to the functionality, no vans or commercial vehicles. The grant does not cover the purchase of land or buildings or improvement to domestic or private dwellings. Standalone social media setup and management fees are not included. And we're unable to accept more than one application from linked companies in this funding round. A linked company is where businesses are connected. So if a company controls another company or they share the same owners or directors, that is not eligible under this grant. So if you're unsure of your eligibility status, please contact the grant team and we'll be able to go through it with you. So with regards to the Capital Growth Grant application process, the timeline is as follows. Stage one is the expression of interest, there to assess the project's eligibility. The deadline for receipt of this is 5 p.m. on the 23rd of July, and the expression of interest opens on the 1st of July 2026. From there, the businesses that get through and the process of the expression of interest will be invited to enter a full application. If the EOI is improved, you'll be invited to submit a full application, your supporting documentation, the week commencing 17th of August 2026. And the deadline for those applications is 5 p.m. on the 25th of September 2026. Successful projects cannot start until written approval has been issued, and this is expected on the 23rd of November 2026, the week commencing the 23rd of November. So there is about a 5-month window between the expression of interest opening and the successful companies being made aware that they are successful. So please bear this in mind with regards to the timescale of your specific project. And all projects must be completed by the 31st of December 2027. So just to put it into a pictorial point of view, the capital growth application process, submission of interest, the deadline is the 23rd July. The grant team will approve these by the week commencing the 17th of August. The full application should be submitted by the 5 p.m. on the 25th of September. Applications will be scored in line with all the assessment criteria, which is available on our webpage. The grant panel will make the decision and put out the offer, and the earliest date you'll be able to start the project is the end of November. From there, once you've been given the green light to go ahead with the project and been given the grant, that you are able to purchase the items. Any changes require written approval from the grant team. The projects need to be completed by 31st of December 2027. Once you've completed your project, you then submit the claim form with the evidence and make payment. And we will also be asking for case studies at this stage as well. Just to say that any incomplete expressions of interest that are missing documentation will be rejected, and you won't get another chance to apply. So please make sure that everything is submitted in its entirety. All the information is in there, all the attachments are there, otherwise you will not progress to the full application stage. So just to discuss the expression of interest application contents, first of all, we're going to look at the screening process. Then we're going to look at the company information, the project details, the financial overview, and the timescale signature checklist. So this is all the information that you'll be asked to include on your expression of interest form. Please just note that the expression of interest form must be completed in its entirety and can't be partially saved. So we're advising people to cut and paste those questions out, prepare the information adhering to the word count, and then cut and paste that all back in and upload your documents at the same point to enter your expression of interest. So with regards to the screening process, it's an online form and can be found on the South Midlands Growth Hub website. Please ensure that you answer the questions thoroughly, as it will help us complete the eligibility checks, and it will move you on to potentially be able to submit a full application. If any sections are incomplete, documents are missing, we will not be able to process this expression of interest. Any applications that do not meet the eligibility criteria or program objectives will not be successful, and your EOI will go through initial screening to assess whether your EOI demonstrates sufficient potential, strategic alignment, and feasibility to progress to full application stage. Just to say, this is a highly competitive grant program, and we expect to fund about 30% of projects through this process. So on the form, you'll be asked to complete your company information. So this is your company name, contact details, and employee numbers. You'll also be asked to complete your trading address and upload evidence if it's different to your registered address. Also, your registration or UTR number. If you're a sole trader, you will need to upload this information if it's not available on Companies House. And then some detailed background behind your business. So how long have you been trading? What do you do? Are you trading at the moment, a pre-turnover company, or not yet trading? To submit your turnover from the last financial year, and whether you're in profit, break even, or loss stage, and also to upload your most recent filed accounts for consideration. And then this will give the grant team the opportunity to understand a bit more about your projects and your company. So from there, we asked you to submit details of your project. So the project details you require funding for, please go into some detail on this, because this really gives the grant team some information and background as to what the project is, what you're looking at doing, why your business needs this project and why it's essential to your business, how it will benefit your business, and what you expect the outcomes of this grant to be. Also, whether this project relates to growth, innovation, sustainability, which of those it relates to, how the project ties into those key metrics under this grant program. So the information will be entered there just in a tick box exercise. And then also list the items which you would like to purchase under the grant. We don't require any quotes at this stage. That was saved for the full application, but we would like a background in what you're looking to purchase for your company. So the next section you'll be asked to complete is growth. So please provide details of how the grant will support growth, including uplifting turnover, uplifting customers, the impact on the creation or retention of jobs, any skills development within the business, and market penetration. So this is limited to 250 words, but it just shows us how your project ties in with growth, which is obviously one of the key metrics of this grant program. Next, innovation, again, 250 words. Describe how the project will lead to innovation. Is it introducing a new product to the business or market, introducing a new service to the business or market, or introducing a new process to the business? Again, products can be tangible or intangible. And the final part is decarbonisation. So details on how it could reduce costs, reduce greenhouse gases, drive towards net zero emissions, or have an alternative environmental or sustainability focus. Does your project contribute to decarbonisation and allow your business to move to more sustainable practices? Again, 250 words to put across the sustainable point of view on your project. So next is the financial overview. We'll be asking, have you got match funding already in place for your project, and how you will be match funding that project? So will it come from savings, from retained profits, from private investment? How will you reach that level for the amount of money that you're looking to claim under the grant? Details of any subsidy, control, aid, or financial assistance which has historically been given to your company will also be requested here. So with regards to timescale, signature, and the checklist, the timescale will ask you to enter your project start dates and when you expect the project to end. We ask you to ensure that your EOI form is completed in full. Check you have all the supporting documentation, such as your registered address, UTR number, if not on Companies House, filed accounts information, all uploaded. Have you read and signed the declaration? And once again, any incomplete EOIs or missing documentation will be rejected, and there may not be another chance to reapply. So if you have any questions about the scheme or the application process or documentation, the email address is there, cgg@southmidlands.org.uk. There will be a lot more details given around the full application process. Those details will be given out to those companies who are successfully asked to move towards full application process. So thank you. We look forward to reviewing your expression of interest. There will be more webinars available for those who submit a successful EOI. There'll be questions and answers sessions for businesses to drop into to come and ask any questions they've got relating to their project. So at this point, just like to wish you all good luck with your expressions of interest, and we look forward to seeing some fantastic projects. Thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye.